In the Philippines, a new term has captured the spirit of our times: Marites. It is a slang name for someone who loves to gossip. This Marites culture describes our society's growing fascination with rumors and personal stories, especially about famous people. Social media has made this culture stronger than ever before. It allows unverified stories to spread like wildfire, reaching millions of people in just a few minutes. This is not harmless fun. When gossip becomes the main event, it creates a fog of misinformation. It makes it difficult for citizens to know what is true and what is false. This confusion is a serious problem for any healthy democracy. The danger of this culture is that it replaces important conversations with trivial ones. We spend so much energy talking about the private lives of others. We forget to discuss the real issues that affect our nation and our future. Problems like poverty, corruption, and the need for better public services get pushed to the side. Instead, our attention is captured by the latest scandal or personal conflict. This constant distraction weakens our ability to demand accountability from our leaders. It turns us into passive spectators instead of active, engaged citizens. The Republic of Marites, a term once used as a joke, points to a real and troubling reality in our digital world. This environment is also incredibly damaging to the people at the center of the rumors. Public figures are human beings with a right to privacy. Yet, the hunger for gossip often strips them of this basic dignity. Their personal struggles, family disputes, and private moments are put on public display for judgment and entertainment. This can cause immense emotional and psychological harm. It creates a toxic space where empathy is lost and cruelty is normalized. The line between public interest and public intrusion becomes blurry. As a society, we must ask ourselves if this is the kind of community we want to build, one that thrives on the pain and humiliation of others. The challenge for journalism today is to cut through this noise. We must provide a clear, reliable alternative to the chaos of gossip. Our mission is to inform, not to entertain with cheap thrills. We must hold the line against the flood of fake news and unverified claims that define the Marites culture. It is our responsibility to guide the public conversation back to what truly matters. We need to focus on facts, context, and the systemic issues that shape our lives. This is not just a professional duty, it is a commitment to protecting the integrity of our public discourse and the well-being of our society. Nothing shows the danger of Marites culture more clearly than the story of Carlos Yulo. In the summer of 2024, he brought immense pride to our nation with his incredible performance at the Paris Olympics. He was a national hero, a symbol of Filipino excellence and hard work. However, the celebration of his historic victory was quickly overshadowed. A very public and personal dispute between Yulo and his mother erupted. It involved arguments over finances and his personal relationships. Suddenly, the national conversation shifted away from his amazing athletic achievement and zoomed in on his family's private conflict. This was a perfect example of gossip stealing the spotlight from real news. The media's intense focus on this family feud was a troubling sight. Instead of deep analysis on the state of Philippine sports or the lack of government support for our athletes, many news cycles were filled with sensational updates from their social media posts and radio interviews. Journalism professor Danilo Arao rightly called this out as voyeurism and rumor-mongering. We were all invited to look into the private life of a family in pain. The story was no longer about a national champion, it became a drama for public consumption. This shift did a great disservice to Yulo, and it also distracted the public from asking bigger, more important questions about our country. This case forces us to confront a difficult question. What is the true purpose of journalism? Is it to satisfy public curiosity, no matter how invasive, or is it to serve the public interest by providing meaningful information? Focusing on the Yulo family's personal issues did not help our society. It did not expose corruption or hold power to account. It simply fed the hunger for drama. It was an easy story to tell, one that guaranteed clicks and shares. But it came at the cost of our journalistic responsibility. We missed a critical opportunity to discuss the systemic challenges that athletes like Yulo face every single day, long after the cameras are gone. The real story was not the family conflict. The real story was about a system that fails to consistently support its greatest talents. It was about the sacrifices athletes and their families must make. It was about the need for better sports infrastructure and financial security for our national heroes. By choosing the easy path of gossip, we failed to explore these deeper issues. The Carlos Yulo saga should serve as a powerful lesson for both the media and the public. It shows us how easily we can be distracted from what truly matters. It reminds us that we must actively choose to focus on substance over scandal, on progress over personal drama. In the fight against gossip and fake news, journalists have a clear set of tools and principles. The first and most important is a deep respect for ethical boundaries. As veteran journalist Dalianne Carvajal said, "Celebrities are public figures, but they are not public property." This is a crucial distinction. A responsible journalist understands that every person deserves privacy. We must honor off-the-record conversations and build trust with our sources. Our goal should not be to get a sensational scoop at any cost. Instead, it is to report the truth while respecting the humanity of the people involved. This principle is the foundation of ethical journalism and our strongest defense against Marites culture. Another powerful tool is our ability to focus on systemic issues instead of personal trivialities. When we see public frustration, our job is to dig deeper and find the root cause. For example, at Rappler, we try to move conversations beyond gossip to informed discussion. If people are complaining about visa problems, we investigate the policies and bureaucracies behind them. In the case of Carlos Yulo, this would mean reporting on the lack of state funding for athletes. By providing context and analysis, we empower our audience with knowledge. We help them understand the world in a more complete way, moving their focus from individual blame to systemic solutions. Fact-checking is, of course, at the very heart of our work. In an era of AI-generated deepfakes and manipulated videos, this has become more critical than ever. We have seen scams that use a deepfake of my own face to trick people. Our job is to expose these lies. We investigate how misinformation spreads on platforms like TikTok and Facebook, identifying the loopholes that allow it to flourish. We trace the networks that push disinformation and hold them accountable. This investigative work is not easy, but it is essential. Every time we debunk a false claim, we are defending the truth and protecting the public from harm. Finally, our role extends to public education. It is not enough to just report the facts. We must also empower our audience to become more critical thinkers. We must teach them how to spot fake news for themselves. This means creating simple, practical guides that explain how to identify a deep fake video or how to check the source of a news story. By sharing our skills, we help build a more resilient and informed community. An educated public is the best defense against misinformation. When people know how to question what they see online, they are less likely to be fooled by gossip and propaganda. This creates a stronger foundation for a healthy democracy. We're now seeing a hopeful and important shift within the media industry itself. More journalists are consciously choosing to step away from the toxic cycle of gossip. They are making a deliberate choice to prioritize respect and integrity over sensationalism. In late 2024, a significant move was made by Dalianne Carvajal, the daughter of a showbiz journalism legend. She ended her famous Dollywood column to launch a new one called Hello Dolly. She explained that this change was an effort to move beyond the Marites culture and create a more positive space in entertainment reporting. This is a powerful signal that the industry is starting to look inward and redefine its values. This new direction is built on the belief that being a good person is just as important as being a good journalist. The most rewarding career is not one built on fear or intimidation, but one built on respect and trust. When we treat the people we report on with dignity, we build lasting relationships. This allows us to tell more meaningful and authentic stories. It also helps heal the public discourse. Instead of adding to the anger and division, we can be a force for understanding and empathy. This shift is not about being less critical or avoiding tough stories. It is about approaching our work with a renewed sense of purpose and humanity. Technology can also be a powerful ally in this mission. We are finding innovative ways to engage the public in fact-based conversations. For example, Rappler's civic engagement arm, MovePH, has used generative AI to conduct public consultations on important issues. This allows us to gather citizen feedback and involve them directly in the search for solutions. By using technology to foster constructive dialogue, we create a strong community that is resistant to gossip and misinformation. We are building a public square where voices are heard, facts are valued, and people work together to solve problems. This is the future of civic engagement in the digital age. Ultimately, the fight against Marites culture is a fight for the soul of our public square. It is a choice between a society that is distracted by rumors, and one that is engaged by real issues. Responsible journalism is the guiding light that can lead us toward a better future. When we choose to respect privacy, focus on systemic problems, rigorously check our facts, and empower our audience, we are doing more than just reporting the news. We are building a more informed, more compassionate, and more just society for everyone. The path of truth and respect is not always the easiest one, but it is the only one that will lead to a stronger democracy,